confidence, integrity, accountability, communication. Long ago, even though they were divided, the two nations lived together in harmony. And then, everything changed when the Sims attacked. Only the Alphatar, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when we needed him most, he vanished. Almost 100 years passed and some rando discovered the new Alphatar, a confidence vendor named Devonte. And although his confidence skills were great, he still has a lot to learn before he could save the homies. But I believe Devonte could save the world.
Alright, I'm gonna make this very clear. I don't give a freak what anybody else tell you. In college, everybody's some freaks. Everybody horny. I cannot tell you how many days I saw countless cheeks being beat through windows, and I wasn't a part of it. Like, you know how hard it was trying to suppress my urge to get in some guts while being surrounded by so much coochie because I wanted to maintain my wholesomeness and not fornicate? Like, I had God dancing up there in heaven every time I defeated my urge to become a coochie scout. Because like I said, everybody in college are some freaks. So you telling me you've met every single person in college?
Speaking of freaks, I got this one friend. We're not gonna use her real name. We're gonna call her Maddie. I knew Maddie belonged to the Multiverse the second I met her back in freshman year of college when we both met on a party bus 3 years ago. And throughout these 3 years I've known her, she's consistently shown me why I was right. Because she's done some very questionable things, like very much 5-star thought activity. Now, keep in mind, Maddie was not a snack. Maddie was a whole dancer, and she still is. The girl bad, very appealing to the eye, even to this day. She got curves, she cute, she got melanin, and that thing back there fat. However, she had a lot of insecurities and she was a broken female. See, she would use these insecurities and brokenness as an excuse to do whatever she wanted, which was to get validation from guys by having as much fun as possible before she graduates. Now, I ain't got no business telling a girl what she should do with her body, but dang, bro, like, it's like she became a straw hat pirate and set sail across the Grand Line just to find the one piece of dick. Bro, it was so bad that she became the school thought because almost every dude in her circle that I would somehow end up having conversations with would tell me all about how they had a taste of her, they homies too, they classmates, how they were surprised that I didn't have a taste of her, which I almost did, but I declined at the last moment and strictly became friends with her because one day she came to me and my homie O's usual hangout spot in the main building, crying her eyes out about some dude smelling like straight cum. Even though she was crying, I honestly didn't care because I felt disrespected. Like, you didn't have the decency to take a shower before coming to school, bruh? You need to stop bathing in them tears and bathe in some soap. Bruh, I heard and seen so much with my own eyes from her that it had me like, dang, this girl getting passed around like the collections plate at church on Sunday. Now also keep in mind that from the time I was 17 up until I was 20, I had a good number of thought friends. And almost all of them were undercover thoughts that always told me about their little adventures sleeping around. And it would always boost their self-esteem telling me about it, which is what she would do from time to time whenever we talked. And see, I genuinely liked being around Shorty and enjoyed her presence ever since the first day we met. And she almost all the time had a good vibe regardless of what was going on in her life. And because of that, even though she was a thought, we still built this little friendly bond, a tiny pinch of friends with benefits action in the very beginning. That's why I got access to things other people didn't. But still, over time, a friendly bond. However, the girl was a freaking airhead. Every time I tell her, hey, he ain't good for you, this and that is gonna happen, then she'd act like she listened and understood, then continue to put herself in bad situations, knowing they're bad situations every single time. Now remember, she's a thought, and a lot of dudes on campus were simping over her, treating her like the queen she never was just because she was fine. Couldn't be me. Yeah, she was a queen, all right. Of the streets. It ain't like I told her those things just because it's the right thing to do. No, I genuinely cared for her mental health, because as I watched her dorm hop for appointments every night, I started to notice her mood dropping, and she became less of a happy person as the days went by. Like, some days it seemed like me and O were the only ones that cared, because we'd tell her things that she needed to hear, not things that she wanted to hear. But again, she was a stubborn airhead. You can't save somebody that don't want to be saved. I was getting tired of wasting my oxygen on shorty. Like, what is I supposed to be? Your therapist? Everything always went in one ear and out the other with her. Like, she never had a brain blast. She never listened up until this one day. She got this new boyfriend. And for like a couple months, they had this what looked like a happy relationship that actually turned out to be toxic behind closed doors. So when this pandemic hit a year ago and we all went home, I kind of lost hope for shorty. I ain't seen him since. Until the new semester of junior year started and the campus opened back up a couple months later. Even though I wasn't really in school for real because my YouTube was taking off, I decided to pull up to the campus again on the first day just to see what was popping, because honestly, that school gave me some of the best memories of my life. And you know what's crazy? She was the first person I ran into. Like, she pulled up to me on the side of the road, screamed my name, I ran up to her car, and we had this whole conversation about that relationship. And apparently it didn't end so well for her or him. Let's just say a lot of violence. I felt bad for her, man. But at the same time, I kind of didn't, because I told you this was going to happen. You put yourself in this situation, so that ain't none of my business now. Like, we barely even talk now. Maybe she's changed. Who knows? You know the old saying, you can try to take her out of the streets, but you can't take the streets out of her.
I gotta keep a pop-up, yeah. Put a red ribbon on me. Fly away on them bus, yeah. Headed up the commies. I need me a bag full of senso to get me back started. You don't even know what I've been through. The strain is hyperbolic. I ain't had a session in a minute, but I'm back. Let me finish. I'ma throw on the shade. We the same with the pivot. I can't throw it away. Yeah, you know I'm mellow in it. Rock a house like a game. Matter of fact, I'm about to head to the lookout. I know niggas plotting, so I'm always on the lookout. Keep a Bible, cause your roll might be right. If it's covered in gold, tight draw, it'll take me to the clouds. I gotta keep a pop, yeah. Put a red ribbon on me.